Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. Google Keep is down at the moment and that's pretty much where I put all the notes for this video, the topics I should talk about. So I have a little bit of a problem right now that I don't really know what I'm going to talk about. Roughly it's squad AI, the AI stuff. Talked about this a few weeks ago. It's improved since then a lot. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Second point, enemies. Last couple of weeks and videos, and also just on Discord and everywhere, people are mentioning the enemies look pretty static, they're not moving. Hope you will add this type of enemy, hope you will do that. Of course, I plan to do more than just have static enemies. It's just a process, but I'll get to that process and explain a little bit how I build these games layer for layer, and we'll get into that as well. Let's do the intro and I'll try to just wing this video with some gameplay. I'm gonna show you some gameplay. I think that's what I'm gonna do. AI stuff. I talked about it a few weeks ago, trying to do advanced AI for this game. This game, Regulator City, is the main idea I had is having this team around you that just the whole team works as one. Like the cool TV shows and movies where you see this squad going into a building and they all know what to do and they all do their job and eventually they win, of course. That's pretty much going to be up to the player, but I want your teammates to be there for you and I want you to be able to trust them. And that's very hard to program AI that just works and is functional. It took me a lot of time, like way too much time. This last week I was really at the point of I'm either gonna build this and make it happen, or I need to just ditch this whole plan and pivot the game into other directions. That's I think a business idea I should, or a business tip to other game developers. Try to keep options open. If something doesn't work in your game, don't just dump the whole game, but make sure you have alternate options that you can take that game code, that game design, and move it slightly in other direction. I think I've written down a couple of these things in my to-do list. Alternate version, let me just, hang on, I'm just Googling it for you. Gameplay pivot ideas. Right, I have it here on my Trello. Let me just show you that I'm not lying. These were alternate ideas I had. So the alternate options, we have minimal squad tactics. Pretty much your group stays together, but your other soldiers will just go out and attack enemies from a slightly different position. Very basic, very simple stuff. Still an option to go there. The other option is have a group of 4 soldiers. You always control those 4. You'll control the first one, but every soldier is alive. So the first one gets hit and shot and killed. You only have 3 soldiers left, then 2, then 1. Try to complete the mission without having all your soldiers killed. Great option, still possible if we fail. Third option is stealth ninja style. Completely ditch the whole squad and group mechanics. Just one player, and you have to go in and try to just take out the enemy in a stealthy way and make it a little bit tactical in that sense. The alternate for that is Rambo style, just single one-man army, go in, go crazy, kill everything and get out. So this last Rambo step would resort and turn this game into like a very simple basic top-down shooter action game. Not what I want, but that's kind of the That's kind of the point. These pivot options are last minute changes that I can do to not throw away all the other work I've been doing on this game. It would be a shame to just say, well, this squad stuff isn't working, let's ditch the whole idea, let's start create something else from scratch. That's bad for business. I think I'm now at month 5 or 6 on this game project, so that would have been 5 or 6 months working on something that just ends up in a trash can. Not a good idea. These are just great options. They're still possible. If at some point I think the squad tactics aren't working, then we'll just pivot to one of these ideas, or maybe I'll come up with other ideas. Everything else in the game code is there and running and working, and that wouldn't have been a waste. It would just have been the couple of weeks or maybe a month or so that I've been working on getting these squad tactics working. That would have been a waste. I learned a lot, so not a full waste, but still a savable game or something that we can release. But that doesn't matter because this week squad tactics all came together, sort of. Let me just jump in the game and show you what we're doing right now. Okay, so let's regulate this city. For this, I'm first gonna go into the mission building, which has no enemies in there because enemies is the next thing I want to talk about. Also, another topic. Look at these little guys. We now have animations. We have one over here. We have there. We have different type of animations. Dylan did a bunch of these. We have guys and girls drinking stuff like there's nothing else going on. We have eating Cheetos or whatever, and a couple eating spaghetti and soup and noodles, and people at the arcades. We have a bunch of things going on. Over here we have some, I'll get to that in a minute. First, squad tactics. Let's split up the group by running this command, and I mentioned this many times, this is real time. If there were enemies now, they would still be attacking me. This is not a turn-based strategy game. This menu will slow down the game, but everything will still continue. So you don't have a huge amount of time. And as you can see, green stuff is our leaders. And if these guys are moving, they pretty much tell you where they are going. Also notice that they are now moving without me giving them commands. This is probably going to be the default setting. Once these guys are on their own, they will do certain actions unless you tell them to not do them. You can still tell them to defend the place they are, the spot they are. You can force them to move, you can regroup, but you don't really have to. You can just walk around and they will pretty much wait for you to settle down, and then they will target the area that you're looking at. So they will notice you are sitting down, it's time for us to move, and this way you can really get that cool feeling of bunny hopping, I guess. I don't know what the term is for this, but they're pretty much like bunny hopping over each other. We're gonna secure this spot at the door, and they will be moving to the next spot at the couch, and then we'll move up again and we'll take this door, and they will take the next door. Or well, as you can see, sometimes things aren't working out because they're moving to the very wrong door. But these cases are happening a lot less now, so I'm really getting to the point that I'm happy with the AI, and most of the time you can pretty much trust them to do the right thing. It's now just up to me to fix those times that they don't. And here are a couple of other animations we have added, like something weird happening there, not sure what it is, but we have animation guys at a computer desk, and we have this cat in a box. Sorry Dylan, if you're watching, I thought it was more funny if that box would close, so I changed your animation a little bit, but the cat was a funny idea. So bunch of things added, new animations. Let's go over here. There's something new here as well, and my guys are coming. As you can see, the green arrow shows they are targeting that spot. Here they come, and we'll move on. This shows that the game will be a little bit of a science fiction technology futuristic type thing. Your soldiers will be able to regenerate in these tubes. So some sort of DNA sequencer, fixer, clone gadget thing. I don't know yet, but yeah, there will be some futuristic type stuff happening in the game. All right, now let's open the level editor and quickly select a level with some enemies. I always like the industrial one. This one. Let's go. All right. Red are the enemies. They are now moving a lot more than they were. And let me just play you through it, and we'll talk about the enemies in a minute. But first, let's see if we can take all these people out. Okay, so this was a very bad example, but they pretty much do a lot of stuff on their own. So let's make sure we cover both doors and enter this part of the building. They'll move over to this door right here on their own, and we breach and we shoot and kill everything in a second. And that's pretty much the stuff I'm looking for in the game. So let's see if we can move into the building. And I'm not sure what this is. There's something going on with the edge. I'm being distracted here and there because I see things that weren't happening yesterday, like this. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll fix it. All right, they move to the door. We open the door silently because there's a bunch of things in this room. So let's not make too much noise, and let's see if we can breach the room. And let's take out everybody. And this was a much better example of what's happening. They will target enemies on their own, and you can really sneak up on enemies from multiple directions. And this way we will be doing whatever we need to be doing in these levels. And it's really cool to see that in almost all cases, even if you're very far away from them, they will know where to go to. And we will have to just improve that based on certain situations. We might want to have them attack enemies from behind or from the other side. And that's just a bunch of things I need to figure out how to build it. But they at least know where they're going and how to get there. And that's the most important thing so far. And as you might have noticed now, the enemies are more active, more towards targeting you and running towards you. Like I said, there have been a lot of people messaging me about that, and I can't see how difficult your game is going to be, and why do you have all these static enemies, why are they not doing this or that? Pretty much because I never programmed to do that. It wasn't important for me. The main thing, or how I've been working on this game, is in layers. The first layer was squad, tactics and AI. That's been just a thing since the first devlog of this series. Trying to have this squad, this team operate as a group, or have the player somehow have control over them, and figuring out what options we can give to the player with a team of 4 soldiers. The second step was the layout. Where are we going to be throwing the player, in what kind of environment, how does it look, how do we build it in the best way. That's been this journey of these devlogs so far, building a level editor and first wasting a huge amount of time trying to procedurally generate these levels. It just didn't work. You can't create great mission areas randomly. Of course, with code you can do a lot, but manually designing them just gave me a lot more options, and I'm very happy I did that level editor. And we now have this environment, we have the player and his team can move around and knows what to do, and we now know the limitations of these things, but also the benefits of having a team doing their own thing. I already changed a couple of things in levels here and there by just moving a wall a little bit slightly so that you can actually hide behind it and circle around the enemy, and things like that is now what we're gonna have to be doing in level design. Designing levels that are interesting and provide the player with interesting moments and situations where you really can do cool stuff, and where the AI will really shine. So that all had to be up and running first, and now we can start on making the enemies part of all that, because they're going to be your biggest obstacle. And it's not just enemies, but we might have energy or power generators that need to be shut down. Just a lot of stuff that is now going to be part of your mission or obstacle. Those type of things are going to be implemented now, and then hopefully the AI will still hold up and do its thing. And together all these 3 things, level design, AI and all the obstacles, will slowly build up this game to a final product, hopefully. So the first thing I did this week was just allow my enemies pretty much all the power that my AI soldiers also have. So they can pinpoint safe spots. For them, it's of course the danger spot for the player is their safe spot, and vice versa. They can now do pathfinding to find their way anywhere in the level, and they can be made a little tougher and faster here and there. And that's pretty much how we're going to build these enemies. And of course, right now all these enemies are the same, but we're going to have a lot of little values that we can change depending on many things, either skill or level or enemy type or whatever. For example, the speed they run in, we can change that a lot, make them very slow. The speed in which they notice the player and then actually attack the player, there's a certain delay there. That delay can be very short for very dangerous enemies. As soon as they spot you, they shoot at you and they aim very well. Or not, another value we can change. Or they are very slow and easy to take out. If they see you, you will have like 5 to 10 seconds and get out of the way, and the enemy will be like, probably was nothing, I'll just continue my thing. Changing all those variables a little bit is gonna be fun, it's gonna be easy. The enemy code is up and running, and just changing numbers here and there will make them function very differently. The next phase is figuring out how to transmit those changes or such changes to the player. The player needs to be able to see if I'm dealing with a very dumb idiot-like enemy or a very smart and fast enemy. So I need some way to show the player the dangerous or how dangerous the enemies are. It might just be a dialogue popping up at the start of a level. These guys are dangerous, watch out. Or these guys are pretty stupid, take it easy. Gonna have to figure out all those things, but that's the fun part. Everything else is now working, so this is gonna be fun adding all these things. Let me quickly show you another level that's pretty fun. And while I'm figuring out all this stuff, I'm also figuring out how to make the best levels. And bigger is better in this case. So bigger levels will just work a lot better. It allows the player more freedom to move. It will allow or give the player more space to hide behind, things like that. So the levels will actually be bigger than what I have now, while the type of missions will dictate how much time you have to spend on each mission. So let's just go regroup first, coming out of the level editor. Let's just split our team. Let me also show you the nodes. So we now have these dots. Green and red dots are visible by the enemy, which is weird that he was watching through the wall. But okay, green dots is the spots that focus. Green dots are now where the AI can move to, and if they turn red, the enemy is looking at them. So let's see how far and how much damage we can do without getting noticed. And right now it's all about shooting, but obviously a cool idea would be to sneak up behind them and take them out very silently. That's just going to be all part of it. So that's one of the things I want to add pretty soon, being able to sneak up to them, and without firing a shot you can take down the enemy. And again, in case it's not clear, I'm just controlling this guy with the yellow thing above his head. The other two are pretty much doing stuff on their own. And as you can see, shooting now wakes up these enemies and they might be moving towards you. If they hear a sound, all that stuff still needs fixing and improving. Especially since they're hearing it from all over the world, it seems. They're moving in from all areas. Luckily, my two other guys are doing a great job and I only have to worry about not getting seen. So level design wise, things like this area right here, it's all pretty open, not a lot of stuff, and the challenge for me as a level designer will be to find ways that the player can actually use their squad and their team to move around, get around these guys and take them out from a safe distance. And that's still gonna be a lot of figuring out for me as well, because I only just got all this AI stuff up and running, so I need to figure out what the possibilities are. So let's breach a door or both doors at once. Is that a good idea? Yeah, we're gonna do it just for the action. And they're not safe on that side. We take out this guy. Let's move them over there. I can still give them commands like I just did. If I want them to move sooner or faster or whatever, I can just move them. I can place them at a defensive spot. And that gives a lot of possibilities, and it's just a matter of figuring out now how to make it fun, how to make these levels interesting, how to make it fun for the player, and yeah, bunch of things. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It feels like I just recorded a bunch of stuff and forgot to push the record button. I didn't know what to talk about because Google Keep was offline and I had a couple of notes. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover, but this is probably not my best video. Anyway, I hope the content was interesting enough, and Regulator City, it's really shaping up pretty well. Of course, we're also nearing the end of this year. I've been working on it now for 5 or 6 months. So it really needs to shape up because we need to wrap it up. Kickstarter, maybe, possibly, very likely, gonna happen early 2022. I could really use a successful Kickstarter, so let's hope I can make that happen. If not, I don't know yet. We'll have to see. I haven't planned that far ahead yet, but I shall be planning that very soon because it's important that this game gets finished in the best way possible. Alright, and that's it for this week's video. Thanks for watching, even though it feels like it was a mess. Thanks for watching anyway. Next week can only be better, so that's a good thing. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, jump on the Discord. I almost forgot, but we have a Discord game. I mentioned it a couple of times, like many months ago, that I created a Discord game, PDB, a bot. It gives experience, it has a bunch of things. It has grown into so much more. You can now get items, paying with your experience points. Those items can be used to squash enemies, and everything, all the items, all the enemies, it all comes from the Orangepixel universe. So you might be using a certain weapon from Space Grunts to take out a creature from a Sir Questionnaire or Heroes of Loot. A bunch of things are there and interactive. The more people chat and the more people are acting and interacting with each other, the more of these little game things are popping up. It's entertaining and people are really trying to get the best spot with experience points and level up and all that stuff. It's cool to see, it's fun to see, and there are still a bunch of things I want and need to add to the bot, so it's gonna improve more, and it's pretty much another game I've been building, but on Discord. And, so jump on Discord, come say hi, and I'll see you next week. Alright, bye.